And then it was explained to me that there is a particular function of the universe called the law of opposites. I never knew about that before. Once I learned about the law of opposites, I stopped resisting what was coming at me for reasons that'll be very clear to you when I explain to you all about the law of opposites. The law of opposites says this: whenever you declare anything to be true for you in your life, everything that is the opposite of that will show up in your life. It will arise from the firmament. It will materialize right in front of you. Whatever is the opposite of what you have declared or embraced or announced that you wish to be or to do or to have. Now that seems kind of cruel in a way. It's kind of like, wait a minute, what? I don't understand. What kind of a universe do I live in? Are you telling me that as soon as I have a wish, gee, I wish that this would happen, or I wish that that would happen, or I hope that this can occur, as soon as I have a hope or a wish, everything unlike it comes into my life? What kind of a world am I living in? Who wants to live in a world like that? And so when I was first told about this, I even had a little argument with God. I said, that doesn't seem fair. In that case, I won't bother wishing for anything. Because if my wishing for it brings up the opposite, how about if I just don't wish for anything? How about that? So God kind of chuckled, and she said, well, I can understand why you'd be a little bit mystified, a little bit confused about that, maybe even a little bit upset, because you really don't understand what's going on and how it's all working. But let me explain to you, she said, exactly how the universe works. You are living in the realm of the physical, which you could also call the realm of the relative. That is, where you are now existing. By the way, you are not your mind and you are not your body. We've discussed this before in previous lessons. Who you are is not this and it's not this. You are that which is seeing this, that which has this. You are not your body. You are that which has a body. You are not your mind. You are that which has a mind. So who you really are is an essential essence, an individuation of the only energy. Here we are now with energy. Who you are is an individuation of the only energy that there is. And you have used your ability to manipulate that energy to create a body and a mind as tools with which to do what you came here as an essential essence to do. Now, you've come here to the realm of physicality because this is the place where things exist relative to other things. That is, there is up and down, left and right, before and after, big and small, male and female, black and white, what we call good, what we call evil. There are opposites to everything because we live in a contextual field that contains the full breadth and scope of every experience and every expression of life. We've come to this place, to the realm of the physical, from what I'm going to call the realm of the spiritual. In the realm of the spiritual, everything exists in its absolute form. Things are absolutely what they are, and there are no opposites. There's only one thing, and that one thing expresses as the only thing it is. As I've mentioned in one of our previous lessons here, it is always in the realm of the absolute. It is always here. It is always now, and all there is love. Love here and now is all there is. That's all very lovely, except you can't experience it. You can't know what it's really like. So in order for us to know what it's really like to experience love, we would have all the time, to experience love here and now all the time, the only way to experience that would be for us to know its opposite. The only way to experience the light would be to know the darkness. The only way to experience up would be to know that there's a thing called down. See, and let me give you a simple example. Let's use the word temperature. Temperature is simply a condition. It's a word to describe an aspect and expression of life. But if there's only one temperature, then temperature has no meaning. The only way that temperature has a meaning if there's hot and cold. Now suddenly there are degrees of temperature. And the word temperature suddenly has meaning to it in the concrete rather than simply in the abstract. It's that way with all of life. So what we have created in the realm of the relative are degrees of good and evil, degrees of fast and slow, hot and cold, up and down, here and there, before and after, all the terms that create the experience of relativity. And that's what's going on in the physical universe. And it's a blessing, because without the opposite of that which we choose to experience, we can't experience it. We can know it, we can understand it, but we can't experience it. And the example I like to use, and I've used it over and over, is the example of being the light. I can say that I am the light, but I can't experience myself being the light unless there's some level of darkness someplace. In the absence of darkness, the light is not experienceable. Again, it becomes a concept, simply a concept. It's a conceptualization, it's an abstraction. But to move it from abstract to concrete, to move it from a concept to experience, there must be something other than the light. And then suddenly you can be the light, and the light can shine on the darkness. The darkness is the illusion. It's an illusion that's created by us in the contextual field so that we might express and experience who we really are in any particular way. So for instance, to give you a practical example, if I decide I'm creative, I am Neale the creative. I love being creative. Creativity is one of my favorite activities. I love having creative activities in my life, whatever it might be. But as soon as I decide that I'm really a creative person, and by the way, I really am. I actually am a very creative person. I will create problems, challenges that require creative solutions. Because if I don't create problems or challenges that require creative solutions, I can't be creative. Therefore, the person who loves to create will never become angry at the problems and challenges that arise as soon as he decides to be creative, because it is in the moment of solving those problems that that person's creativity arises and becomes a force in action, to become an energetic force in action. So in the best way to change that force and turn it into action is to create an alteration of what's coming this way, not to resist it. So the opposite of what you choose to experience will show up absolutely, sometimes in the very same day, usually within a week or 10 days or a month or so, and often very rapidly. So whatever you decide I am, the opposite will show up. And as it shows up, it creates an opportunity for you to meet it head on, not resist it, but to meet it head on, and then to alter it, to change the alchemy of the incoming energy in such a way that the process of life produces the opportunity for you to create the outcome for which you have yearned and which you have desired.